Thank you for joining me for Sketch and Doodle Thursday. I have my botanical inspiration for today. These are both from a grocery store. These, I believe, are carnations. And these, I'm not sure what they are, but they're very interesting. And we'll see if we can make some interesting sketches with them. They're just a stem with a little ball, but there's a lot of detail within here. And then the one thing I want to do with these is I'm going to try to cut one open. And this is how I approach sketching, is I like to explore further what's going on with the plant. And I have not tried this yet for these, so I'm carefully with my X-Acto knife. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through it. I just break apart, but let's try. Okay, so this is what we have, and that is really cool. So what they are, I'm going to break a couple of these off, these little pieces. So I would say those are kind of a teardrop shape. Got some of those. So we'll want to look inside there. So I'm going to move this aside. So I have my sketchbook here. And what you'll need is either a sketchbook, so blank page. I would recommend not having something with lines in it. This is twisting and turning, so I'm going to break it. So it'll lay a little bit flatter. I would suggest something without lines, what I was saying, because if you want to photocopy them and use them as part of your collages, you probably don't want the lines in, but you might. It might actually be an interesting detail. So I'm going to back up and say do whatever you want. You can do a blank page or a lined page. And then I'm going to use this uni pen, and this is the size. It's a 0.8. I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'm happy that I broke that open because I think that's going to give a lot more interesting options for drawing, because I'm seeing this, and then I'm seeing all of these. So I'm not doing an exact replica of what I'm seeing. I'm simplifying it. And then a stalk. I can use this in my design just as is, or I can make it into something else and put leaves on it. I'm going to go ahead and explore this. So typically, if I do something like that, I want to try to do it at least 3 times in the same way, just have a little bit of a variation. To choose from, especially if I'm going to be photocopying it and using it. I can have different variations of the same thing in one collage. So is there anything else I want to do in the center? I can just leave it. It's pretty solid. There's might be another, color in there. I could actually add another circle or oval shape in there. And I'm going to do another one just like that. Just doing these kind of teardrop shapes, because that's how I'm seeing it. And then moving on, seeing if there's another way I can think of drawing it. And this isn't an exact circle to me. It's kind of like that. I'm drawing slow here. And it's got the tips of these on it. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this up with those. And just see what that looks like. It's a tight bundle of little circles. I'm simplifying it. But that's looking pretty neat. Maybe I want to try to do, well, I'll do the same thing just because I said sometimes I like to do the same thing let's say 3 different times. Just because I can get variation. And I'm going to do one more of these. Little circles. Okay, maybe I want to do, so these I have outlined, but what would it look like if I didn't outline it with a line, but I did these. So that looks different. And I made them a little bit larger. There's a lot of them in there, but I just simplified it, making it larger. I'm thinking about just adding some more along the edge just to make it a little bit larger. This would look beautiful just shaded in with another color. So see the difference? So here I started with the shape that I simplified, and then this, you have the kind of more interesting edges there. And I'm going to try that again. Bunch of little circles. And the stem. These are looking really cool. I'm loving this. I'm going to do one more. Doing the stem first. And right there is a really nice selection. I'm going to just scan these a little bit more and feel them, see if there's another way that I want to represent them or change it up. So they're all tiny circles. So what if I just instead did a larger cluster? Some smaller ones up the outside, not all even. This is very symmetric and even, but I'm just switching it up and just seeing what that looks like. Kind of evening out that shape a little bit. So those are some really interesting patterns, aren't they? I'm really liking that as it is. I'm thinking though that it wouldn't be a bad idea to do a kind of a scribbly one, just to see what that would look like. So that's a different way to do it. So keeping my pen down and scribbling it out. Playing with different sizes of the scribbles. And I don't know if I can fit more on there. I'm going to try one more down here. There we go. And the last thing I want to do is I want to just scatter some of these little shapes in here. And to me, they're kind of teardrop shapes. But see how we're getting an interesting pattern. This page as a whole with the whole plant or the whole flower. I'm not really sure what to call this. I'm not sure what it is. And then throwing these in here. Okay, so because of all this detail, this sketching session took a little bit longer than I thought. I was thinking that we'd do the carnations as well today, but I'm going to hold off till next week because there's so much going on here with these leaves, with these little buds, that I'd like to do an exploration of this on its own. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this session and that you got some really cool ideas with this one botanical here. And I will see you in our next session where we'll be exploring this flower here. Thank you for joining me today.